Part 3. Questions 21 to 35. In this part, you will hear 3 talks, lectures or conversations. The talks, lectures or conversations will not be repeated. There are 5 questions for each talk, lecture or conversation. For each question, choose the right answer. A, B, C or D. Questions 21 to 25 refer to the following professor's lecture. First, take some time to read the questions 21 to 25.
Okay, class, I want to talk to you about the Cold War today. Now, the Cold War wasn't just one single war. It was actually a long time of aggression. It lasted about 50 years. Anyway, the Cold War was mainly between the US and the USSR. That was Russia's old name. They had different opinions on just about everything. Oh, and Joseph Stalin, who we have talked about before, was the leader of the USSR at the start of the Cold War. Anyway, there was a lot of suspicion during the Cold War, but the US and the USSR never actually fought each other. This is because both countries had nuclear weapons, so they were afraid of each other. They didn't want to destroy the whole world, and that might have happened if they'd fought each other. But instead of fighting, they showed their different opinions by competing with each other. For example, they made their militaries bigger, and they raced each other to see who could get a person in space first. Stuff like that. But a lot of the problems were political. The two countries were very different, and so they couldn't get along. This is what caused the Cold War.
Questions 26 to 30 refer to the following conversation. First, take some time to read the questions 26 to 30.
Em số 1.
Okay, yesterday we read about Georges Seurat. Now, many people would like to paint like Seurat, but very few people can. He invented a very precise way of painting. It looks different and is hard to do because it is so exact. There were various styles of painting, but Seurat decided to make a different one. The first difference was that Seurat took a lot of time to prepare before he painted. He planned his paintings very carefully. He made many drawings to decide on the best way to reproduce the scene. He worked for many hours before he started to paint. With this style, you have to have a clear purpose. With other styles at this time, they had very little time to prepare. Now, the second difference was that he used pure colors. He understood that the eye would blend the colors. He knew that if he painted red next to yellow, the eye would see orange, okay?
Why didn't he just mix the paints like other artists? Wouldn't that have been easier?
Yes, but using pure colors made the painting very bright. These paintings don't look bright in books, but when you see them in person, wow, they are great. Now, as you know, the biggest difference was that Seurat didn't use brush strokes. He painted tiny dots, one at a time. Millions and millions of dots, and some of his paintings were very big. Can you imagine how long this took? One painting took 2 years. Of course, that didn't mean that Seurat was a better painter. All the well-known painters back then were very good and made beautiful paintings. But Seurat was very proud of his different way of painting. He felt that this new style represented people and nature very well.
Questions 31 to 35 refer to the following professor's lecture. First, take some time to read the questions 31 to 35.
Rồi. Bersyukur. Sama. Nanti mama gimana? Ada pertanyaannya. Tahun kurang Fran yang ke banyak.
Today we're going to talk about snakes. Can you imagine eating a snake? Me neither. But there are creatures that do. This is a problem for snakes. So, how do they solve this problem? They have to protect themselves. Let's look at 3 types of snakes: the rattlesnake, spitting cobra, and hognose snake. They all have unique ways of protecting themselves. The rattlesnake solves this problem in a unique way. You see, rattlesnakes are born with small beads on their tails. As an average snake gets older, it grows more beads. These beads rub together and make a rattling sound. Okay, so when does the rattlesnake make this noise? When it thinks an animal might attack it. It cannot shield itself, so it tries to scare the creature by rattling its tail. The spitting cobra has another way to protect itself. What does it do? It sprays poison from its mouth, okay? But the snake doesn't just spray it anywhere. No, it sprays it into the eyes of the creature that is attacking it. This is very effective because eyes are sensitive. The spray stops the creature from seeing, and the snake gets away. Next, we have the hognose snake. It's less aggressive. So what does it do? The hognose snake plays dead. That's right. It will twist and roll like it's dying. Then it will lie still on its back. The snake will even hang its tongue out of its mouth. Can you believe that? So by playing dead, it actually survives.
This is the end of the listening.
China has ended its decades-long one-child policy to allow all couples to have 2 children. The ruling Communist Party of China made the announcement on Thursday. The one-child policy, officially called the Family Planning Policy, was a population control measure that was introduced in 1979. Policymakers hoped to restrict the country's surging population and therefore control rates of poverty. It wasn't adhered to strictly, and many exceptions were allowed. In 2007, around 36% of China's population was subject to a strict one-child restriction. An additional 53% was allowed to have a second child if the first child was a girl. The new two-child policy will reverse China's very low fertility rate. The new two-child policy is expected to provide a huge economic boost for China and prevent it from developing into an aging society. China's labor force reached a peak of 940 million in 2012. However, this decreased to 930 million in 2014 and was expected to fall by another 29 million by 2020. Predictions from Peking University are that there will be an average of 2.5 million extra newborns per year. This will result in more workers and an additional $11.8 billion in annual consumption. Shares in many international baby goods companies jumped by over 10% after the news was announced. The new policy will affect around 100 million couples.
Cái nem ăn với má rồi nè.
Em yêu mà con nghe.
Ôi mẹ chị đi.
Chứ mới nhỏ 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 đó. Học qua cho này thân biển.
Ăn rồi nè. Ủa.
Cô này này sụp vào cho nha.
This is the listening test for levels from 3 to 5 of the Vietnam 6 level language proficiency test. There are 2 parts of the test. You will hear each part once. For each part of the test, there will be time for you to look through the questions and time for you to check your answers. Write your answers on the question paper. You will have 5 minutes at the end of the test to transfer your answers onto the answer sheet. The recording will now be start. Please ask any question now, because you must not speak during the test. Now open your question paper and look at part 1. There are 8 questions in this part. For each question there are 4 options and a short recording. For each question, choose the correct answer A, B, C or D. You now have 45 seconds to look through the questions and the options in each question.
Camera nhìn xuống nè. Thôi đó, được rồi. Thấy đấy.
Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
Look at question 1. 1. What is John going to do tonight?
Hello, Mrs. Brown. Is John there?
No, he's out on his bicycle at the moment.
Oh. Can he go swimming tonight?
Sorry, Paul. He's got a football match tonight. 2. Which bag does the woman buy?
I want to buy a present for Diana.
What about a bag?
Yes, this one's nice. It's small and round.
I think she'd prefer a square bag.
No, this is better. I'll get the round one.
3. How much did the woman pay for the apples?
Can I help you?
Yes, I'd like a pound of apples, please.
Do you want the ones at 30 pence, 35 pence, or 40 pence?
The ones at 30 pence, please.
Với con 4 giờ nữa.
4. When must the boys get on the coach?
The football match starts at 2:30, but we should get there at 1:30. The coach will pick us up at 10 to 1, as it'll take us about 40 minutes to drive there. Car park. Don't be late, boys, will you?
5. What fruit do they take?
Mum, have we got any fruit to take on the picnic? There were some oranges and bananas.
Here are the bananas. Let's take those. Oh, the oranges have all gone. What about taking some grapes or apples as well?
Okay, let's take the grapes. That'll be enough.
6. Which present has the man bought?
Is the book in this bag for Mum, then? I didn't think she was particularly interested in flowers.
I thought she'd like it, to give her some good ideas for the garden. Even if she never reads it, it's got some lovely photos.
I thought you were going to get those gloves I showed you in that shop last Saturday. They match the scarf I've bought her.
Yeah.
7. Where are the photographs?
Have you seen my new passport photographs? I put them on the bookshelf. Oh, here they are, with your coffee cups. I hope they aren't dirty.
Oh, sorry. I was showing them to Pat. He says they make you look like that newsreader on the television.
8. What did Ben break?
Ben, what's this broken cup doing here?
Sorry, Mum. I had an accident when I was washing up. You know those big dinner plates?
You haven't broken them as well.
Oh, just a couple. They slipped out of my hands into the sink, and the cup got broken as well.
That is the end of part 1. Now turn to part 2. You will hear 3 different conversations. In each conversation there are 4 questions. For each question, choose the correct answer A, B, C or D. You will hear the conversations only once. Now open your question paper and look at the conversation 1. You now have 25 seconds to look through the questions and the options in each question.
Con là mẹ đưa ra là đớm được con à. Cô ạ. Còn nó mà cột cẳng còn nghĩ lô lông xong mở cửa nó xong bỏ
Mấy bữa mà nó bị nó để sao con bay.
Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
Dave, I'm going to the supermarket to pick up food and drink for Saturday's picnic later. Any suggestions?
Well, everyone's been talking about having a barbecue down by the river, so why don't you pick up some hamburger and hot dogs?
Okay, but how much hamburger meat are we going to need? And hot dogs too?
I don't know. How about 3 pounds of hamburger and a couple packages of hot dogs?
Oh, that's not going to be enough. Do you remember the last picnic we went on? Your roommate Jim ate about 10 hamburgers by himself.
You're right. Let's see. I better write this down. Let's see. About 9 pounds of hamburger meat and 7 packages of hot dogs.
And you better pick up some chicken for those who don't like hamburger or hot dogs.
Okay. How about 5 or 6 bags of potato chips?
Better make that 8 or so.
All right. Oh, and we're going to need some hamburger and hot dog buns. How about 5 packages apiece? I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, you better pick up some mustard, ketchup, and mayonnaise, too.
Okay. What else? We're going to need some soft drinks. How about 10 of those big 2-liter bottles?
Sounds fine, but be sure to buy a variety of drinks.
Okay, and what about dessert?
Well, maybe we could ask Kathy to make
Well, I wouldn't mind that, but you know she's been very busy working 2 jobs, so I'd hate to ask her. And, hey, why don't you whip up some of your oatmeal cookies?
Well...
Hey, you could even ask, what's her name? Yeah, the new girl, Susan, the one that moved across the street.
Well,
I bet she'd be willing to help you.
I don't know.
She's a real knockout.
Nah, I don't think I could ask her. I don't know her phone number. Plus...
Hey, you don't need to. She's at the door.
What do you mean?
Well, I thought you two would hit it off, so I called her up saying I was you, and I invited her over to watch a movie.
You did what?
Wait.
Now open your questions paper and look at conversation 2. You now have 25 seconds to look through the questions and the options in each question. Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
Can I go outside to play?
Well, did you get your Saturday's work done?
Aw, Dad, do I have to?
Well, you know the rules. No playing until the work is done.
So what is my work?
Well, first you have to clean the bathroom, including the toilet. And don't forget to scrub the bathtub.
No, I want to do the family room.
Well, okay, but you have to vacuum the family room and the hall. And be sure to dust everything. Oh, and don't forget to wipe the walls and clean the baseboards.
Okay.
And after that...
Oh, no.
Next, sweep and mop the kitchen floor. And be sure to polish the table in the living room.
Okay.
And make your bed and pick up all your toys and put them away. And...
More?
Yeah. And then, how about going out for lunch and getting a big milkshake? But, yeah, you probably don't want to do that.
No, I want to.
Okay, while you're doing your work, I'll be out in the yard raking leaves and pulling weeds.
Now open your questions paper and look at conversation 3. You now have 25 seconds to look through the questions and the options in each question.
Part 3. Questions 21 to 35. In this part, you will hear 3 talks or lectures. There are 5 questions for each talk or lecture. For each question, choose the correct answer A, B, C or D. You will hear the talks or lectures only once. Questions 21 to 25.
You will hear a talk about ecotourism, a danger to wildlife.
Ecotourism, a danger to wildlife. This is breakingnewsenglish.com. Ecotourism is a booming business that many tour operators cite as being helpful to nature. Every year, millions of people descend on protected and pristine natural areas to observe rare species. However, a new report casts doubt on the value of this form of tourism. In fact, it suggests that ecotourism is more damaging than helpful to nature. Details of this report published in the journal Trends in Ecology and Evolution. Researchers believe tourists are disrupting animals in their natural habitat. They pointed to a recent event where sea turtles in Costa Rica had problems laying their eggs because of the hordes of tourists who had congregated to watch the turtles' nesting habits. The report says that ecotourism is making animals bolder and that this could endanger the animals. A regular human presence might make animals tamer and less cautious about other animals around them, and this could put them at risk of being attacked by their natural threats. Then they will suffer higher mortality when they encounter real predators, the report says. It added, when animals interact in benign ways with humans, they may let down their guard. The report said it was essential to develop a more comprehensive understanding of how different species in different situations respond to human visitation, and under what precise conditions human exposure might put them at risk.
Questions 26 to 30.
You will hear a talk about skin lightening cream.
People told to avoid skin lightening creams. This is breakingnewsenglish.com. An association of local governments in the UK, called the LGA, has warned consumers about the use of some skin lightening creams. The LGA discovered that some of the whitening cosmetics they tested contained banned ingredients and were thus illegal. However, they were available for purchase in UK stores. An LGA spokesperson said these ingredients could pose a serious threat to consumers' health. He said there has been an increase in the number of users experiencing health problems after using the creams. These include seizures, rashes, and scarring. The spokesperson said the creams could increase the risk of skin cancer and liver and kidney damage. The global skin lightening industry is booming. In 2017, it was valued at an estimated $4.8 billion and is forecast to nearly double to around $8.9 billion in the next decade. Many people use it to reduce the darkness of the color of their skin. The LGA warned that rogue retailers were selling illegal skin lightening lotions on which the label incorrectly listed the ingredients and omitted the illegal substances. The LGA said some illegal ingredients acted like paint stripper and could burn off the top layer of skin. It said, skin creams containing banned ingredients are very dangerous and could seriously damage your health, scar you for life, and even kill you, so they should be avoided at all costs.
Questions 31 to 35.
You will hear a talk about having children.
Bạn dưới he cho trạm ngóng mỏ he.
Parents happier after their children leave home. This is breakingnewsenglish.com. Many of us believe that having children is the key to happiness and a perfect family life. Naturally, this idealistic image is true for some, but researchers say that in reality, children make us happiest when they fly the nest, when they have grown up and left home. Researchers in Germany looked at data from a survey of 55,000 over 50-year-olds living in Europe. The survey respondents were quizzed about their emotional well-being. The researchers discovered that most parents were happier with life after their offspring had left home and started making their own way in life. Researchers say this could be because raising children creates financial worry, stress, fatigue, and anxiety. The research was led by Christoph Becker at Heidelberg University. He concluded that a big reason for parents being happiest when their children leave home is that the tables are turned and the children provide more support to their parents. He said parents whose children no longer live with them suffer from fewer symptoms of depression and have more positive. Regarding the role reversal in providing support, Mr. Becker said, children's roles as caregivers, providers of financial support, or simply as a means of social contact might outweigh the negative aspects of parenthood. He added that maintaining family relationships may stave off loneliness in aging parents.
Part 3. Questions 21 to 35. In this part, you will hear 3 talks, lectures or conversations. The talks, lectures or conversations will not be repeated. There are 5 questions for each talk, lecture or conversation. For each question, choose the right answer. A, B, C or D. Questions 21 to 25 refer to the following professor's lecture. First, take some time to read the questions 21 to 25.
Mình đơn tán lúc bắt mình vui rồi đơn tán rồi bố cái này là nó đánh cái vấn đề như cận đơn thả đãi luôn nơi bữa em thấy em ở đâu nữa mà em đi lại để em khỏi mà để bắn không nên em đuổi em lại em được vô khi đi trong dịch nên hôm nay được cái đoàn viên anh đã nên em vô
All right. Today's lecture is about heat. Actually, we will talk about the ways heat moves. This is called heat transfer. Now, there are 3 types of heat transfer. They are called convection, conduction, and radiation. Okay? Okay. Convection happens when heat moves through gases and liquids. When air or water heat up, they get lighter. Then they move away from the heat. They rise. When they get cooler, they change direction. They come back down to the heat again. In convection, this repeats over and over. For example, a hot air balloon. Fire heats the air. The hot air becomes lighter. The balloon rises up. But as the air cools, it gets heavier, so the balloon goes down. Convection is how hot air balloons fly. Now, next is conduction. This happens when heat moves through solids. First, a solid object is put on heat. Eventually, the solid object takes this heat and it gets hot. Some materials are very good at conduction. Metals, for example. This is why many cooking pans are made of metal. They heat up quickly. But don't touch them. Ouch! Conduction causes many burns. Finally, heat also moves by radiation. If you can feel heat from an object without touching it, then it is radiating heat. Remember, you can't see this heat. The sun, a toaster, a dryer, all these things use radiation. Have you ever warmed your hands by a fire? Even this is radiation.
Questions 26 to 30 refer to the following conversation. First, take some time to read the questions 26 to 30.
Ông nội nhiều.
Okay, so Impressionism was a new way of painting. It went against old art standards. It changed what was seen as good art. Before it, art was considered good if it was exact. Artists tried to reproduce what they saw on the canvas. They aimed to make the painting look just like what they could see. Impressionist painters were different. The first thing you will notice in an Impressionist painting is the use of color. These artists didn't mix colors. They put two colors side by side. They knew the eyes would blend the colors for them. The purpose was to create bright and bold colors. Movement was also important. Painters often worked outdoors. This was not normal at the time. Most painters had someone pose for them inside. But the Impressionists went outside. First, they wanted to capture life as it was happening. Their subjects were doing something. They were not posing. Blurred lines showed movement. They paid attention to lighting. Working outside allowed artists to use natural light. This is always changing. The change comes through in the painting. Different times of year are represented with the change in seasons. Impressionist art changed art. It broke the rules. Many people did not like it for this reason. If you ask me, that's what makes it so great. And over time, many people agreed.
Questions 31 to 35 refer to the following professor's lecture. First, take some time to read the questions 31 to 35.
Dịch dân ấy. Dan em gây trực tiếp con nhau nên mình em tiếp thế này. Con nhau thì chạy đi ra. Đi biển. Đi biển. Rất nhiều mới đó. Đi. Chị chị ở đây thân viên à? Chị đừng chị mà bây giờ mà 4 giờ thì là
The book Watership Down. Let's talk about it today. It has sold more than 50 million copies. This book's themes are people and politics. This book looks at how people treat each other and criticizes governments. It uses a story about rabbits. A group of rabbits leave home to find a new place to live.